The power of small steps. Hey everyone. Welcome to my very first video on this channel. I want to begin with a question. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the size of your dream? Maybe it was a business you wanted to start, a book you wanted to write, or even a healthier version of yourself you hoped to become. And then right before you even began you froze. Or just the thought of it weighs you down. You told yourself, it's too big. Too far. Too late. I know that feeling because I've been there. But what I've learned is this: the difference between people who reach their goals and people who don't isn't talent, resources, or even luck. It's the courage to take small steps consistently. I repeat, it's the courage to take small steps consistently. The mountain and the pebble. Think of your dream as a mountain. From a distance it looks impossible to climb. But every mountain, no matter how high, is made up of tiny steps, one after another after another. The problem is, most of us stare at the peak and forget that progress begins with something as small as lifting a foot. Let me share a quick story. A friend of mine wanted to run a marathon. But he wasn't a runner. In fact, he could barely jog for 5 minutes without gasping for air. Instead of giving up, he started with just 1 minute of running. That's it, 1. The next week 2. Then 5. Then 10. 2 years later, he crossed the finish line of his first marathon. Not because he leapt to greatness, but because he dared to start small. Why small steps work? Here's why this matters. Our brains are wired to protect us from discomfort. When we say, I'm going to lose 20 kilos, or I'll build $1 million company, our brain screams, that's too much. Too risky. And it shuts us down. But when we say, I'll drink 1 extra glass of water today, or I'll make 1 phone call to a potential client, our brain says, I can handle that. That's the secret. Small steps bypass fear. And when repeated, small steps compound into something extraordinary. Think about it, 1% better every day doesn't feel like much. But in a year it multiplies into 37 times better. Small is powerful. The myth of motivation. Now some of you might be thinking, but I don't feel motivated. Here's the truth: you don't need motivation to start. You need action. Motivation is like a spark. It feels good, but it burns out quickly. Action, however, is like fuel. It keeps the fire alive. You don't wait to feel motivated to brush your teeth, right? You just do it because it's part of who you are. In the same way, the moment you take even the tiniest step, you create momentum. And momentum is more reliable than motivation. Failure is part of the journey. But let's be honest, small steps don't mean a smooth path. You will stumble. You will fail, and that's okay. Because failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of success. Thomas Edison once said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Each stumble is a step closer to mastery. The only real failure is refusing to take another step. Here are 3 small steps you can take today. 1. Pick 1 tiny action. Not 10. Not 5. Just 1. Something so small it feels almost laughable. Write 1 sentence. Walk for 5 minutes. Save $1. 2. Attach it to something you already do. If you want to start meditating, do it right after brushing your teeth. If you want to start journaling, do it with your morning coffee. Habits stick when they piggyback on habits you already have. 3. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Every step forward is a victory. Every action is proof you're moving. Closing, the ripple effect. Imagine tossing a small pebble into a lake. The ripples spread far beyond where the pebble lands. Your small steps are like that pebble. They don't just change your life, they ripple into your family, your friends, your community. The world doesn't need more people waiting for the perfect moment. It needs people willing to begin, even with something small. So the next time your dream feels too big, remember this. You don't climb the mountain by staring at the peak. You climb it by taking the next small step. And that step, that tiny, ordinary, almost invisible step, has the power to change everything. Please subscribe to this channel for inspiring motivational tips to help you achieve that dream.